What's up, folks? It's your boy Bob Hollywood, and we're back today with another exciting review. Psych! Today is not a review, today is something special. Today is something me trying to branch off with a little bit of alternate content. In front of you, you see a riser. When I make eBay listings or if I'm selling something, I use this riser if there's multiple items. So today, we're going to rank the top 10 figures that I reviewed this past month in January. There were altogether 14 reviews that I did in January. And so I figured if I do this the first Friday or the first day of the month, that's not a review day, so it's not Monday, Wednesday, or Thursdays, because that's the days I give you reviews, then I'll do the figures that we did review. I'll give you a ranking. And I'm just talking right now. So I'm going to put 10 figures on here. The closer they get to the front, the better. So they're back here. They're at the bottom of the pack. I'm sorry. So the first figure I'm going to put on here is actually one of the most recent figures. It wasn't the last figure that we reviewed of the month. It was the second to last. And it was this Hollywood Hulk Hogan. And while I like this guy for his accessories, and that's why he's probably made it, he has trouble standing. I didn't realize that until after I had done his review, when I was just playing with him a little bit. His legs, after I did the articulation, gave in a little bit. So this Hulk Hogan, he looks great. His accessories are great. He just gives me some trouble standing. And he's just better than the figures that aren't on this list. So he is the worst figure. Not the worst. He is number 10 of the best figures I reviewed in the month of January. Number 9 is a little tough. Especially again because I was fanboying over this figure before we did her review. And there's nothing wrong with the figure. She just doesn't stand out as much as the other figures in front of her. And that is going to be this Mighty Molly. So we got two WWE wrestling figures at the back, and you can see how she wobbled a little bit. And again, she's a great figure. She came with a few accessories like alternate head and hands and a cape, but she didn't really stand out much for me. So that's why she's there. Number 8 is going to be, and this might surprise some folks, it's going to be Dusty from the G.I. Joe line. And he could have potentially been higher. He really could have. He could have been potentially higher. But he's not. Just because, I don't know, it's just something off about him. Like, I like the figure, but there's something off for me. But I don't know what. Alright, so number 7 is going to be this figure from Dungeons and Dragons. And only because I have to acknowledge the detailing that Hasbro put into this sculpt. I mean, we went over it. We went over it in her review that they could have added some paint, like some wash to all the browns. But the sculpting and the detailing is amazing. She came with a few accessories, not that many, but I don't know. I like her more than Dusty. That's all I can say. I just like her more than Dusty. And number 6 is going to be one of the first figures that got me back in the reviewing game. Like, his review wasn't necessarily the first one. Well, it was, but yeah. The first review I recorded this month, and not every review is posted in the order that it's made or whatever, but it's going to be this Blob who just caused destruction. He just caused destruction just now. That's awesome. Blob is in there as number 6. And I like this figure. He, just because of the way he looks. His articulation is not much. And his accessories were confusing. But I like the look of this X-Men Evolution Blob. And that's why he's there, rounding out the lower half, finishing off the lower half. All right, so here are going to be some decisions, these top fives. And again, as we get to number one, it may be easy to guess, it may be hard, but because there were more than 10 reviews this month, it's not necessarily a given. But for number five, and I know I'm going to draw a lot of criticism because how much praise I gave this figure, especially in his line. And I'll explain it. It's going to be our boy Beachhead. Beachhead is going to be number five for a couple of reasons. Okay, so Beachhead was the first figure review that released in the month of January. I recorded that video a while back and I never released it, so I uploaded it. So I don't have really an affinity for this Beachhead right now. He still is the coolest Joe, you know, in the line, actual G.I. Joe. But all these other figures I've played with more recently, I've had more recently, and they have a softer spot in my heart. But, yeah, there's Beachhead. Number four. And I shouldn't like this figure as much because I don't care about the character, but I love this figure. It's going to be this Iron Man, and I forget which armor it is. I think 70? I'm not sure. But that Iron Man, he speaks to me. He's fun to play with. Unfortunately, he is going to, might not, depending on if it doesn't work. But I plan on making him into a custom for another figure. But that Iron Man felt great in my hands. He was fun to hold and play with. I do like the detail of the ridging throughout his armor. He's a standout figure. All right, so number three. And this is going to give it away before it's even shown, but this is a twofer for you folks, a twofer. And this is probably going to create carnage just like Blob did because it's even larger. But this twofer, and if you remember, if you've been watching all month, I've only reviewed one 2-pack. It's going to be Clownface and Panda. Now, if I were to put these figures individually, Stan Blop, you cannot see Blop anymore. If I were to put these figures individually, Panda would have not made the list. I mean, she just wouldn't have. She has less articulation. She's smaller. She still looks good. I'm still going to have fun playing with her, but she just wouldn't have made the list. And Clownface would have potentially been a spot higher, but then I had to be like, it's still only a potential with just him by himself. So the two of them together brings it down slightly because the next two figures are, Night and Tails. Night and Day just better than everything on this riser right now. And even right now, as I'm looking at them both and I'm recording this video and I'm talking, I'm rambling, I am debating who should get that top spot. But I have to make a decision, for brevity's sake. In our second spot, our first runner up. It's going to be this Heather Swain figure. Yeah, I had to do her. The last figure that we did for the month of January turned out to be one of the best figures that we did in the month of January. Turned out to be a cool figure, one of the best figures I've ever held in my hand. I like the way she feels. Like I said, her plastics feel different than this Iron Man's plastic or than this Beachhead's plastic or, Hogan's plastic. It just feels different in your hand for some reason. And her articulation is great. I think it's weird that her torso comes apart, but she came with a ton of accessories. A ton. She's sculpted well. I have my favorite hit on her right now. She's a great figure. She is a perfect figure. But unfortunately, the best figure for me in the month of January was also perfect. And fortunately, I have her right here. She also comes from a franchise that uses that perfect phrase and that is, and I'm playing with her right now, that is this Jada Chun-Li. I'm sorry, folks. This Jada Chun-Li is the most amazeballs thing that has ever graced my collection. That's not true, but I love her. I love her. I love her. I love her. She's a wonderful figure. She's a wonderful figure. I'm sorry, Heather. This Chun-Li, only thing she's missing is just maybe like a little wash on the boots to make her boots look like, they're real. I can deal with everything else, but like this, she's such a beautiful figure. She's fun to pose. She's fun to play with. She's fun to hold in your hands. She looks great. She looks proportional. Jada did a great job, and I would waste my money with them, with repaint after repaint of this figure, and that's probably saying a lot. I need to get the other figures in the collection in my hands. But I want the Ryu. I want the Fei Long. I want all of them. I think they just announced Bison and Blanca, maybe? No, Dao Zem. So yeah, when they do Cammy, when they do Sakura, I'm in. I am all in on the females in this line. But anyway, folks, I'm going to stop rambling. And maybe the next time I do this video, the production is better. I don't know. I need some likes. I need some comments. And I need some subscriptions. I need, a fan base to know that I should keep making content. But I also need you to know that I appreciate you one way or another. I love you. I don't know you. I wish I could. I don't know you, but I do love you. I love you, the energy that you put into the world, and I appreciate it. So, action figures speak louder than words.